first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Madam President, family, VP, CEO, Technical Director, and our sponsors and fans and supporters. Thank you for bringing me to the club. You know, it's anytime a new coach comes to a club, it's something that's got to be a marriage that's perfect, you know. And so I'm sure the club looked at me very hard, and I looked at the club very hard, and I think both of us see the benefit in working together. So I'm excited to be here. Well, good morning, Naeem. Good morning. Thank you for your questions. That's 4 questions, not 2. But that's okay. We can answer all 4 for you, no problem. In terms of the club, yeah, I was aware of the league. I was aware of this club. I know it's a club with great ambition and desire, great infrastructure, and a great vision. And so an experienced coach like me, you have to assess if that club is a right fit for you, just as much as the club has to think, are you the right fit for them? So it's got to be, it's a process of sort of like feeling each other and seeing where it works and where it could fit. And so that's not a fast process. It's something that takes time. And if it was a fast process, then I would be concerned that the club would be moving too quickly and maybe, you know, in a rush, and that's maybe not the right way to go. But the club's process in speaking to me was diligent. It was the right pace. It wasn't too quick. It wasn't too slow, because I'm sure that they had to do their homework as much as I had to do mine. And so my dealings with the club right from the start were impressive because of the professionalism that I still see as I've arrived, that I still see in the organization, that I still see in everybody I'm meeting, which tells me that it's the right decision for me. And I know it's the right decision for the club. I just have to prove that. And that's what I'll do. You're asking me about, so that's one of your questions, Naeem. We'll try and get through the other 3, shall we? Okay, my involvement in the first team will come more specifically from January onwards. I have some personal things I have to arrange throughout December. But that's okay. This is more for the long term. And, you know, I'll be working with the club and players and officials and technical staff to make sure that we're on the right track. As regards to players, you know, it's something that we have to take a look at as a whole club policy. It's not just my policy. You have to also respect the fact that at a football club, people that are already here have got more of a background knowledge of the player, the attitude of the player, the tendencies of the player, how they produced. I can only watch the games that I'm provided and hear from the staff. So that's a process that's got to be very carefully rolled out in terms of decision making. So there are conversations going on. Of course there are conversations, but every conversation is for the betterment of the team, for the club. And so there's certain things I can't give you specifics right now. I know you'd love that, but I can't give you any specifics. It's just continuous communication between the club president and through the management in terms of the direction. Direction comes at the point of the style of play, how I see the team, how I see the league. So that will be, I think all will be unveiled in time, but it will take a little bit of time to make sure that they are the right decisions. Yeah, obviously it's a new league to me, but I am from the region. I've coached national teams in the region successfully. I've coached in Thailand, and so I know the region. So for somebody coming in like me, it's not a huge transfer of knowledge difference, in a sense of I'm well aware of the region. We're AFC games in the region, so there's a lot of crossover with teams. You know, I've done my homework on the league. I've done a lot of research into the players of Visakha and the history of Visakha, and I think that's the key, is that know the club, know the league, but also know what I can do and I'm confident in that. So yeah, how much do I know? I think we'll find out really soon. But I would say this is that I spent over a decade in this region as a national team coach and a coach in teams in the AFC Champions League, in the Thai League, in World Cup, in Asian Cup, all from this region. And right now there are teams that compete against each other. Tomorrow night there'll be a team here from Malaysia playing a game. You know, there's a team from Philippines here a few weeks ago playing a game. And so there's a lot of crossover in those two teams and in this region. And I do know the region well, which is why coming here doesn't feel like awfully out of comfort zone for me. It feels very comfortable. As I was saying to the management earlier, it just feels like I've changed city, not country. And hoping that I can transfer that into results, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for, is to win football games. First thing I would do here would be obviously to meet the management. That's the key, was to understand what management are looking for, which I did before I came, understand the identity of the club. But if you're asking me what I'm actually doing in terms of the operational standard, first thing and the key thing is to meet the staff, because without the staff united properly and working hard together, it's very difficult to affect the players' performances, and that's what needs to be done. So we can look at the results this year, and there's been 6 draws, 2 wins, 6 draws, 3 defeats, and therefore it's a fine line between more points and a lot less points. And so I have to understand what's happened there. There is a clear identity at this football club that doesn't need to be changed. What does need to be changed is something needs to be built to make sure that results are consistently favourable. You know, through league results. Okay, teams won cups in the past, but from a football experience, cups are about moments. Leagues are about consistency, and therefore I need to just have a look where we can continue with the identity, but build something that's consistently going to produce wins on the field. And so that all stems back to how we operate as a staff and how that staff affect players. So in short, first thing we'll be to is ensure that the staff and I are on the same page and headed in the right direction.
Semakin semua murid partnership of Jason Bangladesh và phải từ lớp học với việc học bày in việc bảo vệ các các của Cambodia. Saya adalah sebab các của viên sông Bắc akan mesti đôi cả bạn sẽ phải chịu mà.
Judging by the results so far, we are a little bit far behind from the league title. Do you think we still can win the league, or are we aiming for the cup that are still open?
Jay, good question. Of course, it's possible to still win the league. Mathematically, it's possible. You know, those 6 draws hurt a lot. So it's mathematically possible. And while it's mathematically possible, I'll always try to achieve that. You know, I'm not the type of coach that says we'll focus on the cup and develop other things for the league for next season. While it's still possible, we strive for that. And so it's a matter of making an impact quickly, the league, you know. But if we look at the league, because the league tables don't lie. They don't lie. League tables are the truth. Cups are moments, league tables are the truth. The truth is that we have to become more consistent in gaining points. That means something's got to be built to assure that. So it's still possible to move up the league table, and we need to try that. But more importantly, we need to build something that gives a better perspective of this team as a league team quickly. Whether that helps us for this season to achieve a goal or next season, it's irrelevant. It just needs to happen quickly. The cup is open, and therefore that's a blank canvas to go towards, yes. But the league is always the truth. You know, the league tables do not lie, and therefore we have to take a look at that quickly. So I wouldn't accept staff or players focusing on cup. I would expect them to focus on everything, because with everything you build the right mentality of the team to move forward for the next season and the season after that. Again, the identity of this club is fantastic. The ambition of the club is really impressive. But something has to change in terms of its consistency in the league, and that's probably the utmost importance. And so I think we focus on both and see where it takes us. Well, football teams are nothing without supporters, are they, to start off with? So supporters are critical. And you know, I could sit here and make promises and say a lot of words, but words and actions are two different things. But what I can guarantee supporters is that whenever I'm coach, any team getting anything from a game against Visakha will have to do very well, because I expect high standards of the staff, I expect high standards of the players, and most of all I expect high standards of myself. If I didn't believe in this club, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't believe I could make a change, I wouldn't be here. So supporters can rest assured that I want to raise the standards, both as with the playing and the coaching and everything. It's just hard work's coming, desire is coming, and an incentive to win more and do the job. And so I think, you know, supporters, I understand their frustration. I can understand frustration from the supporters. But with a new coach comes new standards. And my standards are what I set, what I will expect will be at the highest of myself, staff and players. So I think supporters can look forward to that. But again, these are words, and they will see for themselves when the team takes the field with me, that they may be able to identify that there is something different, there is something changing, and there's something that they can, you know, that's quantifiable and they can align themselves to. Brilliant. Okay, Kanda, because I see from you, and I look at you direct when I said this, I can see desire, love, and commitment. I can feel that. That's why I'll give you the courtesy of answering each question individually and letting Ben translate that. So there's no uncertain turns, there's no grey area, and you can feel exactly how I feel about your questions. First of all, I just want to say, I feel your desire, I feel your love, I feel your commitment. I think that's fantastic. It's people like you, Canada, that make clubs special. Okay, so your questions, the league. Yes, it is in the distance away, the possibility. But while it's still possible, you have to work towards it. We have to work towards it. Maybe we can't get there, but it will not be from the lack of trying. Maybe we can't get there, but we can change the mindset of league performances so that it can carry on. If we don't do that, then we are waiting to start next season to change that mindset. That has to change now. I know Canada said that he liked the way I speak, and I appreciate and I thank that. I always will be the same, and I think the management already met me, especially the CEO. We've talked long hours, and they know that I will be direct, honest, transparent. So will the staff, and so will the players will know that. And loyal to one thing is to the club and winning. Therefore, I chose to come here as much as Visakha chose me, because I have to see opportunity. And with this club, I see opportunity to make an impact. So for me, the reason I'm saying is because I can see a real opportunity to make a serious impact. And that's what I intend to do. Okay, your point about goals, let's talk about that. Goals. The facts are facts. not enough goals scored, too many goals conceded. So this is a recipe for a poor season. Ideas, thoughts of why that's happening. There is some technical, there's some tactical, there's some perhaps motivation. There's many reasons why these things can happen. Likewise, conceding goals early on in games, there are reasons why that can happen too. And I think once a team gets into that spell of bad things happening, sometimes it can be hard to pull yourself out of it, which is where change needs to come. But where change needs to come, it can't be applied softly, quietly. It has to come with a sudden impact. That's what I plan to do. That's got to come from staff and the players. It's not the players just alone. It's how they've been prepared. It's what happens in the training sessions. It's how the players are managed individually and collectively. It's the desire they put in. It's the tactical aspects. It's the physical performance. Even with physical performance, if the physical performance of a player is high, usually the football performance follows that physical performance. So there's many factors for me to speak to staff about, and then players about, and then apply principles without any reservations or concerns or doubts about what I want to do. It has to come hard, fast, for the good of the club. And so I will expect players and staff to give everything they've got, or they will have to step to the side. Because at the end of the day, I didn't come here to be average. I came here to win. The club brought me here to win. And therefore, I'm going to expect a lot from staff and players. And where I don't feel that, then that's for me to make hard decisions. And I'm more than comfortable and capable of doing that. Look, when you're a head coach, you're always under pressure. Always under pressure. But for me, pressure is actually a privilege, because you're in a place where people are relying on you, hoping for you, and trusting you. So therefore, pressure is a privilege, and it wouldn't be right if I wasn't under pressure to come in and do the job. And so therefore, a pressure situation is not something new to me, but it's something I recognize and I accept and I embrace. With that pressure, it only reinforces the fact that I must come in, make immediate impact. This is not pre-season. It must be an immediate impact with staff and players. And therefore, am I confident? Absolutely. I wouldn't have accepted the job if not. I see it, as I said before, I see an opportunity here to make a change and to build something that's not here now. As far as goal scoring, when you draw so many games, it means there's a fine line between winning and losing. And football is a game of small margins. It can be in the preparation, it can be in the management of tactics, it can be in the management of individual players, it can be the effort that's put in, the confidence, which all comes back from the coach and from the staff. So I would expect us to score more goals. I would expect us to concede less goals. And I would expect me to thrive under pressure, because that's what I've done all my career. And that's why I'm here now, to make sure that that can happen. Which is why, again, I reiterate, staff and players have to be ready for a change. This is not something we're going to do smoothly and roll into next season. It has to happen right now. And that's where staff particularly, and then as we roll that out to players, they have to be ready for that. They have to be ready for me to hold them accountable, because wins and losses will fall on my shoulders. And I accept that. And therefore, I need from staff to do their jobs to the best of their ability in a way that helps us win games, and players to accept what needs to change. Because when you concede so many goals and you don't score as many, something's got to change. You know, when you're in the league position that this club finds itself in now, with the infrastructure and the commitment from the ownership here, something is wrong. Something has to change. And we can't wait to do that in the pre-season and next season. It has to start now in order for the club to build on that. So again, I welcome the pressure. I've lived under pressure for most of my life, and I'll continue to do that. But thank you. Players are inevitably will come in to more clubs. It's just part of the process. You know, you're always looking to improve the squad, whether that be local players or foreign players. So that's something where there's an ongoing discussion right now based on my analysis. I'm here to also look at the players in training, meet the players, get a feel for their attitude, have a look at the results, question some things, and take a look. So yeah, I mean, there's discussions about players. Nothing we can outline specifically right now, but as always, a football club is always looking to improve itself on the field, off the field, by bringing up the level. So, you know, players have to produce. You know, foreign players have to produce. They have to make a difference. That's why foreign players come in, right? Otherwise, if foreign players don't produce, well, what are they doing here? These are just facts. So we'll always look at that. We'll always consider that. And it's a matter of what the balance of the team is like. Height, pace, technical ability, defensive abilities, transition, attitude, all the things you consider. And then you've got to balance it all in one kind of recipe to make sure the ingredients are good. So for right now, I'm looking at the balance of everything and discussing with the management as to what we think may improve us. I won't be specific about that. I guess in time you will see. But there's certainly conversations, and there's certainly considerations happening, as there should always be in every transfer window. There should always be considerations. And we have to ask ourselves here about what we can do on the field and what we can do off the field as that relates to players. So some big questions to answer, and possibly there could be changes, but you'll see.